Hello everyone, my name is Sue Ross and I am Director of Admissions for Tulane University, School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine located in New Orleans. And today's guest is Matt Ward. Matt is a current doctoral student in tropical medicine. So hi Matt, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, my name is Matt. I'm from Sacramento, California. I did my undergraduate work at Pitzer College in Los Angeles. I came to Tulane for the first time in 2011 for my master's, and then I served overseas as a Peace Corps volunteer, and then I returned for my PhD in 2015.
Great. Well, Matt, with all the choices you have out there for master's programs and doctoral programs, why did you select Tulane?
Well, I came back to Tulane after Peace Corps because it was a good fit for me as far as coursework, academics, and then just I like New Orleans as well.
Okay, great. So you mentioned you were an RPCV, and that's a returned Peace Corps volunteer. And Tulane, for the last few years in a row, has had the distinction of being the school with the most in-country volunteers. Can you tell us about your experience in the Peace Corps? Where did you serve, and what types of tasks and work did you do?
Sure. Peace Corps was an amazing experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything, first of all. I was in Ghana, and I served as a health and water and sanitation volunteer, and I worked primarily with my local clinic for infrastructure development and capacity building. I also did some research into malaria diagnostics, and that's one of the reasons that brought me back to Tulane.
Excellent. Okay, so for a doctoral program, how did you decide to select your topic or research area? How did that come about?
So originally, coming back from Peace Corps, I'd wanted to continue working with malaria. However, on my first lab rotation for your doctorate program, at least in Trop Med, you do different lab rotations with different professors. I was introduced to arboviruses, namely Zika and dengue, and I really liked them, and I've been doing that since.
Can you explain an arbovirus?
Sure. An arbovirus is any virus that is transmitted by arthropods through usually a bite, and it generally it's ticks, or more notably, at least in the media, mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
And so your viruses are, for example, Zika, dengue, West Nile is one that people have heard of, or the old one, yellow fever.
That's interesting, Matt. Okay. When you apply for a doctoral program here, it's very important that you find that your area of research interest aligns with current research that's being done on campus with our current faculty. So how did you go about finding this alignment for your doctoral program?
So I knew that I wanted to continue my work with neglected tropical diseases, and so Tulane was and the Trop Med department was a perfect fit for that, because there's very few other places that you can do that. Like I said, originally I wanted to do malaria, but I just happened to find something that I liked better, and there was an opportunity, and I ran with it.
Excellent. So for a doctoral program, you first have to complete 30 hours of coursework on campus, and then there's a prospectus and a dissertation. So where are you in this process?
So I've completed my coursework, and I completed my qualifying exams, or my comprehensive exams, depending on your institution, what you call it. And I'm in the process of writing my prospectus, so I'll let you know when that's done.
Can you tell us how a prospectus differs from the dissertation?
So your prospectus is more or less your proposal for what you're going to do for the dissertation. You can have a percentage of the work actually done already. It's very institutional and even departmental dependent, but in general, it's the proposal for what you want to do your dissertation on. How are you going to do it, your methods. It shows people that you know what you're talking about enough to actually go forth and do it.
Okay, good luck with that part.
Thanks.
Now, regarding the coursework that you had, how did you find your coursework?
I thought the coursework was good for preparing me for the second half of your PhD, which is the actual research and the science behind it. Courses were challenging, but in a good way. They're engaging. I think most of them are all small, so you actually know your professors. I like them.
Well, I had some tropical medicine coursework myself, and I found it fascinating and very interesting. So great to hear. So now you're preparing for your prospectus. What are you actually doing to prepare for your prospectus?
Drink a lot of coffee and stare at my computer. No, but you do, you write your methods. So if you're doing a research-based dissertation where you're actually doing lab science, you write all your methods and your SOPs, your standard operating procedures. You do your materials and methods. You have to do a comprehensive literature review, so that's what I'm doing right now. That sort of takes the most time because you've got to encompass the whole history of what you're writing on.
Right. Big undertaking.
Yeah. And then you have to defend it.
Okay, so tell us about your dissertation. Do you have a title yet?
I don't have a title yet. Eventually I'll get there. But my aims deal with the serology of Zika, so people's immune responses to Zika virus infection, as well as vector competence for the vectors of Zika and their surveillance. So how do you measure them in an area?
Excellent. Let's switch a little bit and talk about New Orleans. So you said you're not originally from New Orleans. How do you find the city?
I love New Orleans, otherwise I probably wouldn't have come back. I find New Orleans to be she's sort of a love-hate place. The people, the culture, the music, everything that relates to that, love it. Sometimes there's infrastructure issues and it gets a little cold here, but in general I love the city.
Cold, you mean temperature-wise, right?
Well, the recent freeze, yes.
Yeah, we recently had a freeze in the city. It was too cold for me, Matt.
It was a little chilly.
It was. Okay, well, there you have it. So I want to say thank you to Matt Ward for joining us today for our Facebook Live event. And thank you for tuning in, and we will see you at a future event. Bye-bye. Thank you, Matt.
Bye. Thank you for having me.